Fort Branch, you're next in line. And again, that's where we have been picking up some of that rotation and the funnel cloud being reported, what's coming toward you. And there they just updated that warning once again. So now they're continuing this tornado warning until 9 o'clock for now northeastern Warwick, northern Vandenberg, and southeastern Gibson County. So they're kind of zoning in on that part there where they're picking up some rotation, but still concerned about the whole line with the wind damage. But again, in that line, we may see some tornadoes try to spin up, and we could be seeing one right there, Wayne.
Indeed, and so we're basically working two areas of tornado threats. The larger, somewhat smaller threat, nothing small when it comes to tornado threat, but the northeastern portion that Stacy was just showing you, along the north of 64, along and east of Highway 41, pretty broad tornado warning for embedded circulations within a line of damaging wind. The only other tornado warning we have is down here in southwestern Hopkins County, and this is just a tornado. It is a classic supercell that is more than likely producing damage just to the north of Dawson Springs. Continues to look ugly here on the radar, getting probably, I would say, passing between Charleston and Dawson Springs. But you want to be in your safe place, either community, but it certainly looks like it's staying north of Dawson Springs here and getting up closer to the Charleston area. Now, Madisonville, you're under the tornado warning. You can see the original polygon here covered a good deal of Hopkins County until you got up to Hanson. Hanson's not in the warning, but then they put the more focused warning here when the confidence grew exactly where this tornado is. And so it's a much more focused area now for where they think this tornado is going to track, and that would be across southern Hopkins County to the south of Madisonville. So as this more than likely holds together in some fashion, it's going to be passing between Nortonville to the south and Madisonville to the north, probably Earlington to the north. So if you're in this corridor right here, you really need to be preparing to get into a tornado safe area. Matter of fact, if you live in a mobile home and you got time to get out of it and you're in this path here, you still got some time to do that now and get to a safe area, be it north or south of this particular track. Because if you get actually to the south, there's nothing else, at least as of right now. And to the north, no more tornado warnings until you get up north of Evansville. So you want to get out of the path of this if you don't have a safe place to be. And of course, a mobile home trailer can hold up in an EF2 tornado. I don't care if you have tie downs, it's just not going to make it. So that's where you want to evacuate, get out of those. And you got some time, but they're updating the situation here, and it doesn't look like they're changing this polygon much at all. I think they're just updating here the tornado warning. I don't think we have a new warning coming in. We do have a new warning.
Yeah.
Okay, let's back it up here and see what we got. And the system trying to...
It looks like it's our system. It's that one up there.
Yeah, northern Spencer, northern Warwick, southern Pike.
Yeah, and I believe it's going to be a confirmed one now, at least on radar, but it hasn't hit our system yet. Okay, yeah, that's along that main line of storms to the north. And yeah, we got looks like a purple edge to it there. So this looks like a confirmed tornado warning. And now severe thunderstorm warning for Du Bois County, western Perry County, northern Hancock, but a confirmed tornado warning up there along that line. So we told you what's going on in Hopkins County. You know, if you're in that area, south where you need to be in the tornado safe area, Madisonville, Earlington, south to Nortonville, it's coming your way. Okay, now we have to zoom in and focus on what could be another confirmed tornado. Yeah, and this is what they're kind of keying off of, where they had the funnel cloud reported near the radar site in Owensville. Now they say a tornado producing storm located over Fort Branch as it moves east at 60 miles per hour. But they are calling it now a radar confirmed tornado. And like I said, we did have some spotter reports of at least a funnel cloud when it was over Owensboro. So this new tornado warning, which is a radar confirmed one, is for northern Warwick County, northeastern Spencer County, southeastern Gibson, and southeastern Pike County until 9:30. Worried about, again, a damaging tornado now with this part of the line. So that would be near Oakland City and Linville by 8:55, just in a couple more minutes. Dale around 9:15 there in Spencer County, and Santa Claus in Spencer County around 9:25. So again, moving east, Wayne, at 60 miles per hour because this is that main line.
Yeah, we've got it here on velocity. You can clearly see the rotation right there, that inflow here coming right out of the Fort Branch area. So it's tracking right along 168, maybe just along and north of 168. But this would be the tornado here. This is probably the rear flank downdraft where you're getting a lot of straight line winds here, right along 168, the tornado would more than likely be tucked into that notch right there. So if you are to the east of Highway 41 in Gibson County, in particular, this would be areas along and north of 168. There is Mackey, there is Somerville, and there's your tornado right there embedded within this line. As we told you earlier, when we're looking at these lines, we look for notches where these circulations are going to spin up, and that's a very pronounced notch, and that's why we have gone with or the Weather Service has gone with a confirmed tornado warning. Let me actually back out of that a little bit more and show you a little better perspective as far as where we are here. So the tornado, it looks like it's just to the northeast of Fort Branch, moving to the east towards Somerville. This is going to slide south of Oakland City. Now, Oakland City, you're technically on the edge of the initial tornado warning, but actually, you are in that one. You're right on the edge of it, and it looks like the southern edge of this is down along I-64. They made it a fairly broad warning because they're concerned maybe other circulations are going to fire up here, but clearly you can see the one right there that has really given them confidence that we've got a tornado embedded within that line. You can see that notch right there heading towards Somerville. So we're getting ready to cross I-69 in eastern Gibson County, in particular the Somerville area. You want to be in your tornado safe area in Somerville, and points along Indiana 168 to the east of Fort Branch, especially just north of 168 between Oakland City and Somerville. It looks like it's going to come into that area, or we'd say between Oakland City and 168. That corridor right there is where we've got what looks like a tornado spinning up on the leading edge of that line of severe storms that is also producing extensive damaging straight line winds. So that is our second confirmed tornado up here, and that is to the north. It looks like now they're just updating the additional warnings that are off to the east, and now we got another new tornado warning coming in, and let's see who that is for. Okay, not sure where. Oh, it looks like it's Northern Pike, Northeastern Pike.
Gibson and Northern Pike. So northeastern Gibson, and then also Pike County until 9:30. New tornado warning there. Same thing, they're saying radar indicated rotation. So again, I'm sorry, not the same thing. This is just a radar indicated tornado warning, not a radar confirmed one like what we were just tracking for you there, coming out of the Fort Branch area and moving into eastern Gibson County there in the Somerville area. But north of that, in northeastern Gibson County, and then over into Pike County, they're issuing a new tornado warning for at least radar indicated rotation, and that will be near Oakland City and also Petersburg and Winslow over the next 30 minutes. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one too. But again, in that tornado warning, they're indicating that this is along the main line, so extensive straight line wind damage, certainly a possibility as that line moves to the east. Now they've got it at about 55 to 60 miles per hour, so still moving pretty fast, maybe just a little bit slower there. But that's the latest on that tornado warning, Wayne. That one just a radar indicated rotation.
Okay, all right, we're going to get back to southern Hopkins County. Still a very significant tornado here. Nothing is really weakened at all. It's pushing east of Kentucky 109, and this is going to be moving into areas between Arlington to the north, Nortonville to the south. So if you're in that part of Hopkins County, you need to be getting into your tornado safe area now. You've got some time to prepare, and you've even got time over here. You're not under that tornado emergency yet, but you'll have some time to at least evacuate a mobile home because this tornado continues to hold together. You can see the circulation now to the east of Charleston over a fairly rural area, and then it will continue to track eastward towards, in general, Morton's Gap. I think that might be the closer call for any of these cities here in the southeastern part of Hopkins County. It looks like it'll say north of Nortonville. Very close call for Morton's Gap. If anything, it might come in just north of Morton's Gap to the south of Arlington. They're going to extend this polygon eventually and focus in on that tornado emergency, but we continue to see a very distinct couplet here coming out of southwestern Hopkins County on live Doppler radar out of the Fort Campbell area, which has got a really good vantage point into this, and it actually looks like the reflectivity may be running ahead here, so it's quite possible that the tornado is now a little farther to the east, getting closer to Morton's Gap. just based on reflectivity here. It looks like that maybe the velocity data is lagging just a little bit behind what we're showing on reflectivity. Let me see if I can confirm that with the other radars in the area. We'll just use VWX and see how it's matching up. It's still a little bit farther there to the west. So let's see what the reflectivity is showing. Yeah, it looks to me that it would probably be somewhere in this notch here. So my guess is it's getting now more to the north of St. Charles and getting ready to head towards that corridor between Arlington to Nortonville. And we'll get an update from the Weather Service here shortly in terms of whether they're going to extend that to tornado emergency. But that continues to be the most dangerous situation that we have here in southern Hopkins County, where a very pronounced circulation is now more than likely continuing to produce a tornado that likely passed just north of Dawson Springs, south of Olney, Kentucky, very close to Charleston, and is now pushing across southern parts of the county to the north of I-69, heading towards the corridor between Arlington to Morton's Gap to I-69. So that is the really dangerous storm that we have out there now. The other ones are dangerous, no doubt about it, especially that one up in eastern Gibson County. We saw circulation on that. What are the updates that you got there?
They're continuing that. No update from the Weather Service, but take a closer look here on my MAX system, and you can kind of see we're just continuing to track where we have those stronger winds showing up, those lighter shades of red there. That's what Wayne was tracking for you, that we picked up just coming out of the Fort Branch area when they really hit this tornado warning a little bit harder and put out a radar confirmed tornado warning. So that is now between about Buckskin and Somerville there in eastern Gibson County. That's moving east. So as that continues to move east, it'll move into southern parts of Pike County around the Spurgeon area up toward Coy. It looks like next as that kind of stays. It looks like going to be staying just to the south of the Oakland City area. You are under a tornado warning in the Oakland City area, but you're just kind of south of where we've really been picking up that confirmed rotation on radar. So let me, yep.
Tornado warning. They just extended the tornado warning into Du Bois and far northern Spencer counties.
Okay.
For that same
So
circulation.
Let's go over to the Louisville Weather Service for the Du Bois County warning. So yeah, so the National Weather Service out of Louisville now indicating a tornado warning for Du Bois County until 10:45 Eastern Time, 9:45 Central Time. Those severe thunderstorms along that line, they're capable still of producing tornadoes and still the extensive straight line wind damage. They're located near Oakland City. So again, that's that whole line moving to the east at 65 miles per hour. I'll pull back a little bit on this and kind of show you that whole line there from up around the Petersburg area. Now another tornado warning that looks like a radar confirmed one up there.
County, southern Hopkins County, they're extending that.
Okay,
pretty much
but then there's
direction.
another one up here south and east of Vincennes, over in probably parts of southeastern Knox County, and then over into Davis County there.
Yes.
And it looks like another update on our tornado warning down here in southern Pike County.
Switch to Max 2 while she's getting that. I just want to show you the big picture here because we got a lot going on. Go to Max 1 if you will here, and let me show you the bigger picture. And you can see the new tornado warnings are up in this area here. Severe thunderstorm warnings for the entire Evansville metro, and then we got that tornado emergency down in southern Hopkins County for areas between Arlington to the north and Nortonville to the south. I've been spending a lot of time on that, but now we're continuing to get tornado warnings extended here to the east. So along and north of 64 to the east of Highway 41, northeastern portions of our viewing area. Evansville, Henderson, Newburgh, Owensboro, all under severe thunderstorm warnings for the potential of damaging straight line winds. And you see everything now evolving into that line we were talking about. And this is the main event, I think, for Evansville right now, Stacy. It looks like, we definitely got that.
And I'm not even sure that Evansville even went under any kind of a warning, to be honest.
We do have a warning.
Okay,
It's severe thunderstorm warning. They blanketed the whole area here. Before we get up to Evansville, I want to get down and update the situation down in Hopkins County because they did extend the tornado emergency a little farther off to the east. No surprise there. We've been tracking that circulation, but you can see now that indeed it's going to stay south of Madisonville and to the south of Arlington. So that, as you can see, it's a box within a box, if you will. And so this is the new tornado emergency. Arlington to the north, Nortonville, I-69 to the south. What are they saying about that, Stacy, as I pull up some of the velocity data here? And I'm going to actually pull this up out of the HPX area.
Okay, here's the latest on that. It's still a tornado warning emergency there for central Hopkins County, including Morton's Gap. So again, tornado warning for southeastern Hopkins County. It's going to go for another 25 minutes until 9:30. Still calling it the same, a confirmed large and destructive tornado near Dawson Springs and moving east at 30 miles per hour. So this is a tornado emergency for Morton's Gap and really all of central Hopkins County. Still a radar confirmed tornado, and we've certainly had lots of reports of that. Considerable damage possible, and it's going to be near Earlington and Morton's Gap here in the next few minutes.
Okay, and you can see the circulation there crossing Kentucky 112. Although, let me just check reflectivity real quick. I'm not sure if it's keeping up with the reflectivity or the velocities are keeping up with the reflectivity, but it looks like it's getting probably pretty close now to the Morton's Gap area. So you can see this new polygon right in the middle. You draw a line down the middle of it, bam, you got Morton's Gap. So Morton's Gap, I think, is going to be the most populated town in the direct line of this tornado. May just miss you to the north, but boy, if you're in Morton's Gap, you need to be in your tornado safe area. Basement, lowest floor of your home, you know the routine, and we'll ride this out because this has a history of producing a tornado, a very pronounced signature, broad circulation. I'm thinking that data might just be a little bit old, so I'm just going to go.
And they've extended this now to central Muhlenberg County, Wayne, the tornado warning down there, and that's going to go until 10 o'clock. So they're already just kind of giving Muhlenberg County a heads up with that.
Okay, so yeah, looking at all the radar data here, all the velocity fields are still coming in back here. So yeah, they are extending it farther to the east into Muhlenberg County, you said. So, and we will get into, we'll just track it to town by town here. And right now we're focusing on the area south of Madisonville here for a very dangerous tornado along Kentucky 112, about to move south of Earlington into the Morton's Gap area, or very close to Morton's Gap. So you really need to be in your tornado safe area down there. This is not a situation where you got to wonder, is this the real deal? I think this is the real deal. Just based on what we've been seeing, this could easily be an EF2 tornado or stronger, and it has a history, and we've been tracking it now for the past really hours since it developed to the southwest of the tri-state. So that is the biggest tornado threat, individual tornado threat that we have. And then we've got the tornado warnings embedded within the line that is now advancing through our northern counties. You can see along and north of 64, eastern Gibson, Pike, Du Bois counties, and those areas along 64 in Warwick and Spencer counties have a tornado warning, straight line winds, embedded tornado, and then the rest of the area getting a severe thunderstorm warning for damaging straight line winds. And as we can see here from the bigger picture, it looks like the main event playing out for Evansville. And honestly, it looks like Evansville may have slid by here without too much trouble, because you can see this line really setting up here, and that's got to still plow through our southeastern counties, and then it turns a little bit more to the north. So eventually this is just going to turn into one big Boeing line of storms, slide down into Tennessee. It's in the process of doing that right now. But this part that's detached from this line here appears to be getting a little more shear, and so we're seeing more spin-ups here along that part of the line. And it looks like this part here, south of Evansville, is now kind of really diminishing the threat for the Evansville, Henderson, Newburgh area. Not entirely, but at least that's the way things have been evolving here in the last 15 to 20 minutes. But clearly the most dangerous storm is down here. Supercell tornadic storm, could be a strong tornado. And then these weaker circulations spinning up on the line along and north of 64 in areas of Pike and Du Bois counties. And so I'm going to go back down to the south. Stacy, if you want to update the situation up on the north end here, and we'll kind of take it warning by warning.
Yeah, let's go to our other Maxa computer and go in a little bit tighter, and we'll start kind of up to the north. And we have had now some reports along this line of a tornado spotted by spotters up here in southeastern Knox County. But now you can see that they've kind of switched that from the purple tornado warning, which is a radar confirmed one, to a regular radar indicated tornado warning. But again, some areas around the Monroe City area, which is just down here to the southeast of Vincennes were reporting at least a funnel cloud or a possible tornado there. But that line is moving to the east into Davis County up there along the northern edge of the tri-state. So those of you in the city of Washington, you've got the leading edge of that line about to move in. And remember, extensive straight line winds with the potential for something to try to spin up and be a tornado as that line moves in. So that's what's going on along the northern edge of it. And then that extends now down the leading edge almost all the way through Pike County. The leading edge is now to the east of Petersburg and really moving through the Winslow area. So main event there in Pike County now for the Petersburg and Winslow areas, but on the leading edge of that, and then working its way into Du Bois County, that's when you're going to have your main event with, again, the potential for some extensive damaging winds, but also something to spin up as a tornado. So those of you in Du Bois County, you're also under a tornado warning. And these are more, obviously bigger tornado warnings. They're kind of doing broad ones because they're concerned about the whole line with some damaging winds. But again, something could try to spin up there.
The gust front is about to hit Owensboro.
Okay.
So I want to show you, this is game on for Owensboro. This is the main event coming in right now. Straight line winds.
Straight line winds, and you haven't been under a tornado warning in the city of Owensboro. And I think that straight line wind threat there is for 60-mile-per-hour winds. So a regular severe thunderstorm warning, but nonetheless, right now is when you're getting probably your strongest wind.
And switch over to Max 1. We got the camera out of the Owensboro riverfront. And so this is the main event for the city of Owensboro. More intense than what came through Evansville. But the line of straight line winds now plowing through the city. This is a live view off the top of the Hampton Inn, looking down on Smothers Park. And this is going to be the main threat, the main concern for Owensboro. This line of severe storms with potential damaging 60-mile-per-hour winds, maybe a bit stronger in some locations here. Clearly, you can see the camera rocking in the wind there. The visibility reduced. We're having a hard time even seeing the Glover Carey Blue Bridge there, not too far off in the distance. But this is now sweeping across Owensboro. And again, this is kind of all organized and intensified south and east of Evansville. So Evansville did not see anything this intense. But now it is setting up southeast of Evansville, and that's why I'm cautiously optimistic that Evansville is really sliding through all this without too much trouble, with the worst more to your south and to your northeast, the way it's been shaping up. But Owensboro, it's game on right now. Live view from the downtown riverfront there, off the top of the Hampton Inn. Potential damaging 60-mile-per-hour winds moving through, and they got a tornado possible on that. I don't know if they just added that, Stacy.
No, it's been like that the whole time. It's for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail, but it has had that tornado possible on it since it was first issued a little while back.
Okay, so yeah, I'll let you get back to your radar there and kind of track the rest of that northern line, and then we're going to get back down to Hopkins County when you're done with that.
Yeah, so you can see the blinking red box there. That is a new update on that tornado warning that is now for southeastern Pike County and then across northern Spencer County, and then of course all of Du Bois County under that. But it's basically for the leading edge of this line that is now almost out of Pike County. It's kind of on the far eastern edge of Pike County, and then it kind of goes down and clips the northeastern edge there of Warwick County. So that part of the line will be making its way into Du Bois County, into the western part of Du Bois County, and then it will also move across northern Spencer County. And then that part of the line really weakens, and then we kind of pick up the southern part of this line that, like Wayne was saying, set up south and east of Evansville. So that's moving through Spencer County right now, and you could certainly be dealing with your strongest winds, and that'll be moving into the Tell City area here very shortly. As Wayne just said, Owensboro, you're getting your main event with that line too, and then it kind of curves back to the southwest. So as you head down into northern McLean and then southern and eastern Webster County, that's where the leading edge is too. And again, straight line damaging winds are going to be the main concern there. And then south of that is where we still have our standalone supercell in Hopkins County with that tornado warning, which has been our tornado emergency warning going into Muhlenberg County. So let's go back to Wayne for the latest there.
Yeah, that circulation unfortunately continues to hold together. Let me clear these away, but we've got that tornado now about to cross I-69 between Earlington and Morton's Gap. You can kind of see it right there. And so they've really narrowed down the tornado emergency portion of the polygon here. The initial polygon got all the way up to Earlington, but or north of Earlington, almost into the south side of Madisonville. But it's this one right here. This is really focusing on where we have the most significant tornado threat, and you can see it crossing 41 now, right between Earlington and Morton's Gap. So if you're in that corridor, you need to be in your safe area. We've been telling you that, for the past 30 to 45 minutes. It's going to be crossing I-69 next to the south of the Earlington exit, and then it would continue towards Muhlenberg County. You got Sandy located over here. And let's just bring some other communities into view here. Now, Bremen, you're technically in this tornado warning, but obviously a lot of history with Bremen, and of course Dawson Springs back in 2021. It looks like, at least if this maintains its path, it would stay south of Bremen. It would come in north of the Western Kentucky Parkway in Muhlenberg County and be more of a threat to the Kentucky Route 70 corridor, or maybe just south of 70 there in Muhlenberg County, but that would be more than likely to the south of the city of Bremen, which is probably just a little too far north to get this particular tornado into play. But it's now getting ready to cross I-69 between Earlington and Morton's Gap. Long history here of a tornado. We don't know yet about damage. I think it's moved over a fairly rural area, just missing Princeton, Kentucky, and then just missing Dawson Springs to the north. Fairly rural area. Might have gotten close to Charleston, Kentucky, Olney, Kentucky. And now, as it continues to track across central portions of Hopkins County, it is sliding just south of Earlington and probably just north of Morton's Gap in this area right here. We're using the radar out of Fort Campbell. It's got a nice clear shot into this. And I'll kind of show you the reason here that this storm is maintaining its intensity for so long. It is out ahead of the main line, and it has no interference whatsoever. It has got all of that warm, moist air coming up from the south. It's not competing with any other storms, and that makes a big difference when it comes to which supercells are going to stay severe and which are eventually going to fall apart, because that inflow, if it gets cut off by another cell, then you don't get it. So it's kind of like a wide receiver out here. It's the only receiver. It's going to get the ball thrown to him, and that's the case right here. Nothing obstructing the inflow to this storm, and that's why it will likely hold together until this main line catches up with it, and then eventually it'll merge with that line, but that may not happen until this already is into Muhlenberg County. So this tornado threat will likely continue into Muhlenberg County, and then maybe eventually across southern Ohio County as it continues on to the east. But you can see the main line of storms setting up to the northwest of it. If that catches up to it, could absorb that and kind of diminish this significant tornado threat, which continues now right between Nortonville and the Morton's Gap area, and looks like a new severe thunderstorm warning for the main line. So now you got a new warning for straight line winds for western Hopkins County for the main line of storms coming in from the northwest. I assume it's pretty basic terminology they're using on that, Stacy, for that new
warning?
On
that, yes. So they've just got 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-sized hail. And same for the northern part of that line moving over into Perry County. That, too, is just the regular severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds there.
Okay. All right. So we're keeping an eye on what's going on northeast of Evansville. That appears to be the secondary tornado threat within the line, but the more significant tornado threat continues to be down here in our southern counties, in east central portions of Hopkins County. So we continue to look at the velocity data coming in out of that, and maybe it's not looking quite as organized as it did earlier. Let me step off camera here. I want to step through time here, because sometimes that gives us a pretty good feel for how things are evolving with a particular storm. So let me back it up here, and we're going to look at this rotation over time. And like right there, okay? Now clearly, we just took a hit. I think we're okay. All right, we're okay. So right there, this is at 8:57. Clearly, look at that. That sticks out like a sore thumb north of Dawson Springs. So that looked much more serious there versus what it's doing right now. It's still significant, but it's not wrapped up quite as tight as it was when it was just north of Dawson Springs. I mean, it looked like it came in just to the north of the Dawson Springs exit there at 69 and 109. You can kind of see those pixels, those red and blues right up. I'll zoom in and show you. That's it. You can see it came in just to the north of the 69 exit there, south of Charleston, at around 8:53. But watch that circulation become a little less pronounced as it continues eastward. So now it looks like it might be beginning a transition to more straight line wind.